If you're looking for an easy to follow recipe on how to make the juiciest, crispiest dumplings ever, this isn't it. This is a story of ambition and love, but also tragedy. Despite living together for a year and a half, Peter and I rarely cook together. Usually one of us cooks, with the other helping here and there if needed. Cooking has always been a daily chore. To put it simply, a necessary evil for sustenance. But an unyielding, yet innocent craving for dumplings led us to think it'd be a good idea to not only make dumplings together, but to do it entirely from scratch. Hi Mr. Flower Man, how you going? Look at that intense face of concentration. Having done this before, I knew the most time-consuming part was rolling out each individual dough ball by hand, which would take us hours. But I had a genius idea. We would use our pasta maker to roll out the dough and then cut out the wrappers like cookies.
This is our cookie cutter, a protein shaker.
In my mind, this was pure brilliance. It'd make the entire process efficient and simple. How I could not have been more wrong. What I thought would be a 2-hour fun dinner prep together ended up being a 5.5-hour ordeal. Could we have reheated frozen dumplings or ordered from DoorDash instead?
Delivery for Peter?
Yes, and did anyone in the world care at that point whether we succeeded in our dumpling making quest? Absolutely not. But sometimes in life, we do things because it matters to no one else but ourselves. And so began our dumpling making mission. After 2 long hours, we had finally finished rolling and cutting our dumpling wrappers. Sometimes Peter's really clever.
Sometimes.
Really clever things.
Sometimes.
But we weren't even halfway done. The kitchen was covered in flour. Our backs were starting to ache. We were both hangry, and we still had a little dog that needed to go on her evening walk. Worst of all, not a single dumpling had yet been made. Peter and I looked at each other, half wanting to give up, but knowing we couldn't. Being raised in immigrant households, there is no greater sin than wasting food. We knew that the only path was forward. So what did we do? We pulled together as a team, as a unit, as a duo. Peter took Chai out for her walk, whilst I cleaned up the kitchen to prepare us for the next 2 hours of dumpling wrapping. For Peter, having never made dumplings before, his first few attempts resembled questionable balls of dough and meat. But after a bit of coaching and some persistence, despite being tired, grumpy, and overall just irritable, in those 2 hours, his skills developed to be able to consistently produce something that one might even call a dumpling. And though he'll probably never admit it, I think even Peter was quietly proud of his humbling dumpling achievements. 4 hours on, it was finally time to cook these painfully handmade dumplings. Pan, oil, dumplings. All our hard work and pain had finally been worth it, showing to us that if we just keep at it, anything is possible.
Petro.
Who are we kidding? That's definitely not how this story goes. A 30-second distraction later, all the water had evaporated too quickly, and our hours of hard work and pain were suddenly stuck to the pan, like glue.
How do you feel?
Really sad. I really wanted nice dumplings, and now they're all fucking stuck to the pan. In some of my previous relationships, this would easily have been the start of an argument, the ember to a big flaming blame game. But despite being frustrated, angry, and tired, we both just looked at each other, scrambled to turn off the heat, grabbed a scraper, and salvaged what we would later go on to call our dinner. So what's the point of this video anyway? Well, it was supposed to be a fun video of us cooking together, but instead, it became a story of how a dumpling disaster made me realize that a good partner isn't just someone I can share happy moments with, it's someone that will work with me to get through the toughest, grumpiest, and hangriest of times without taking it out on each other. In life, things don't always go as planned. Even with the best intentions, they'll never always be perfect. Kindness in times of chaos shows a love more precious than gold. Choosing to work together instead of blame. Choosing to support instead of attack. It's the fact that good relationships are about being in it together because you both choose to be there. And that realization, I thought, was something worth making a video about.